Choosing the right course in university is one of the most important decisions you'll make in your whole application journey. And here's the truth. Getting this decision wrong can lead to years of regret, switching courses, or trying to muddle through 3 years of a course you really aren't enjoying and completely spoiling, for you, what is for most people one of the most amazing experiences of their lives. Or worse, perhaps dropping out and wasting a lot of time and money. But if you get it right, it can set you up for 3 or more brilliant years and a truly life-changing experience. But here's something no one tells you. The research you do to get this decision right doesn't just help you choose well, but the content you need to home in on to make that decision is exactly the content you need in order to plan and write a successful personal statement and to prepare effectively for a powerful and compelling interview. Now, I'm a university admissions coach with over 15 years of experience helping students to make successful applications to elite UK universities. I've worked as both a school UCAS lead and for the last 13 years as a manager in the student recruitment and admissions department at the University of Bath, one of the UK's top 10 universities. I work across the UK advising students, parents and teachers on everything to do with the UCAS application process. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly what to look for when choosing between courses so that you can not only make the right choice, but also make a highly compelling application. I'm going to reveal which parts of that research you can use to strengthen your application from the inside out. And for more information on other aspects of the application process, such as how to stand out to elite universities, how to write competitive personal statements, or understanding what you can be doing right now to boost your application, don't forget to access my applications playlist. I've put the link below in the description and I'll be adding new material every week. Now, when it comes to elite universities, what is going to be vital in making a successful choice in application is knowing and understanding the details of the specific courses you're applying to. I'm going to be looking at the 3 key aspects you need to consider, and the first of these is the course content. Now, the first reason this is important is because many courses come under the same title but have very different content, or perhaps they have a different title but include the content you're interested in. Take psychology, for example. At Birmingham, Year 1 focuses on neuroscience and research methods. At Bath, you'll get a broader foundation covering applied, developmental and clinical psychology, amongst other perspectives. And at Cambridge, the course is called Psychological and Behavioural Sciences, with its own distinctive structure. So this means exploring courses of similar titles and reading the course detail is essential. And not just the overview, but the actual breakdown of the modules or the units. In other words, what topics will you study each term? You also need to look at the teaching methods, so see if there are lectures, seminars, lab work, practicals or group projects. And you should also pay attention to assessment. Will your grade depend on coursework, final exams, practical tasks or ongoing assessment? Some courses will lean heavily into final exams, while others are more tailored to continual assessment. And reflect on this carefully, because you need to think, do you prefer to study coursework or end-of-year exams? Do you thrive in discussion-based seminars or more independent study? Would you enjoy hands-on lab work or creative project-based learning? Think about what suits your learning style and strengths, because if the way it's taught doesn't work for you, it'll affect your ability to succeed. And the second reason the course detail is so important is your day-to-day motivation and success. At elite universities, your courses are going to be demanding. And this is the subject that you're going to live and breathe. So reading about it, writing essays on it, discussing it, maybe even dreaming about it. So you need to be honest with yourself. Ask, am I genuinely curious about this content? Can I picture myself diving into these topics every week for 3 or 4 years? Now, when you're studying something you care about, it's easier to stay motivated. And motivation is one of the biggest predictors of success at university. Simply put, you're far more likely to do well, to have an amazing university experience and go on and really utilise your degree if your day-to-day learning experience genuinely engages you. And the third reason this course detail is so important is that a detailed knowledge and understanding of the content will give you application advantage. And here's the hidden bonus. Because when you take time to understand what makes a course unique, you're better placed to write a tailored application. That means your personal statement and interview responses will feel informed, specific and authentic, and they're going to be course focused, which is exactly what admissions staff are looking for. Now, it shows that you've not just chosen a subject, but you've chosen their course, and that's what will make you stand out. Now, in the next video, I'm going to unpack what elite universities are actually looking for in an application. So do remember to grab the playlist, and later in this video, I'll talk you through exactly the sections that you need to be aware of to stand out in your application. The second aspect you need to consider when looking to choose a course are the entry requirements. You'll be amazed how many applicants are immediately put in the no pile as they don't have or are unlikely to get anywhere near the entry requirements. Every course will list its standard offer. This is the first thing you need to consider. It's the grade you'll be required to have in order to be accepted onto the course. And here's a quick tip. It's usual on university websites to put their standard offer in the form of most common UK qualifications. That is A-levels, sometimes they might put in the International Baccalaureate or BTECs. But unless otherwise stated, don't assume that they don't accept your courses. Just contact the university's admissions department, telling them the name of your course or your courses, the examination board for each, and ask if they'll accept the qualifications, and if they do, what their offer might be. Now, universities really appreciate people being proactive like this in the whole process. Going back to the standard offer, let's assume you're doing A-levels. Many of you will know this, but for those that don't, these are scored from A star being the highest grade down to an E as the minimum passing grade. So let's say the course standard offer is 3 A's. If you're predicted 3 A's and above, you're well matched. They'll then start looking at other aspects of your application to decide whether to make you an offer. And they'll also obviously compare you to all the other applicants. But at least you've met the main requirements. Now, if you're being predicted 2 A's and a B and the standard offer is 3 A's, then you need to do a bit of digging to see if you're likely to still be made an offer. When it comes to entry requirements, especially for competitive courses, it's worth looking at past entry trends. You can use the search tool to look at this. Simply go to UCAS.com, go to the course search tool, find the course you're interested in by typing in the subject, finding the university you're interested in and clicking on the tile. Then head to this section, which is entitled Historical Entry Grade Data. Now here, universities list how many students were accepted below the standard offer in the last few years. They show the percentage of UK applicants who were made an offer, and you can type in your predicted grades to get a sense of your chances. As a general rule, the more competitive the course, the less flexibility. But as you now have access to this data, it can be really helpful in assessing how realistic your choices are and whether it's worth applying even if you're slightly below the standard offer. The UCAS application allows you to choose up to 5 courses, so I'd suggest that if all else is equal, you should choose a couple of courses whose required grades might be a little bit challenging for you, but as long as you're within that historical flexible range, that's absolutely fine. Talk to your teachers about the grade you're likely to achieve and be realistic. You don't want to be wasting one of your options by just putting down something when you really don't stand a chance. You also need to pay attention to the required subjects and any specific grades those required subjects themselves may require, and as well as grades that may be required in previous examinations, and also see if there are any preferred subjects. And look for information on contextual offers or alternative offers. A contextual offer is an offer that's lower than the standard one and it's based on your background or school. An alternative offer might be offered if you complete a particular piece of work, such as an extended project qualification or EPQ, or an international project qualification such as the IPQ, or if applying from Wales, you're Welsh back, and other alternative offers might be based on completed extra maths tests. There might be a range of different extras that you should really check out to see if they might apply to you. Because if it increases your chances of getting an offer, then in this highly competitive environment, it might be the thing that gives you the edge. The third aspect you should consider when researching courses are the career pathways. Firstly, because this is going to ensure your long-term relevance and return on investment. University is a significant investment of time, money and effort, so choosing a course aligned with your career goals increases the likelihood that your degree will be relevant to the job market, improving your chances of employment and long-term job and life satisfaction. Second, once again, this is an area that will improve your application quality. Admissions tutors value clarity of purpose, so demonstrating a clear connection between your choice and future ambitions in your personal statement or your interview can strengthen your application, especially at competitive universities. The third reason you should consider your future pathways is because it actually supports better decision making. If you know what kind of career you want, you can use that as a lens through which to compare different university courses. For example, some may offer work placements or sandwich years, some have stronger employer networks, industry placements, or specific pathways to professional qualifications such as law, medicine and engineering. Looking at it this way can help future-proof your options. Now, the job market is changing rapidly, and if you consider your potential career paths early, you can choose a course that keeps your options open, either through transferable skills, interdisciplinary learning, or postgraduate conversion routes, such as, in the UK at least, becoming a barrister, having done a non-law degree via a postgraduate law conversion course or a postgraduate diploma in law. And this brings me to the next point, which is degrees open doors. And many employers don't need a specific degree. For example, I have a very good friend who's just come off the back of 25 years of a successful career in banking, having graduated from university with a geography degree and then enrolled in graduate schemes that the banks were offering. But whilst this is true, if you do this future pathway reflection and get a sense of direction, then you can save yourself a lot of time and money so that you can get into that career the fastest way and be confident that if you do change your mind, because degrees open doors, you can always convert into other career paths on the back of having a level of qualification that is necessary for an ever-increasing number of careers and roles. Now, with all of that in mind, and definitely if you've got a career path in mind, you need to consider whether a degree is accredited. Certain careers such as law, teaching, nursing, medicine, physiotherapy and many more require accredited degrees. Accreditation is official recognition from a professional body that a degree meets industry standards. For example, in the UK, psychology courses often need to be accredited by the British Psychology Society, the BPS. It's essential if you want to become a psychologist later. Engineering degrees might be accredited by bodies like the Institute of Civil Engineers, the ICE. So architecture, accounting, law, teaching, these often require accredited degrees. So if you can, it's good for you to explore future pathways and careers and ensure that degrees are accredited for those that you even have just a small amount of interest in. Why does this matter? Well, if the course isn't accredited, you might not be eligible for a professional registration later, and therefore you might have to take additional exams or conversion courses after your degree. So when reviewing course pages, look out for phrases like "this course is accredited by" and check who's the accrediting body. It can have a big impact on your options after graduation. Another thing to check is your placement opportunities, or industrial placements or sandwich courses, study abroad programs or industry connections. These can massively boost your CV and help you explore career paths whilst you're still studying. There are a few really good websites for exploring future pathways and seeing whether they need specific degrees or accredited degrees. And there are others that are really good at showing employability statistics for UK undergraduate courses. In other words, what your graduate prospects are likely to be. Now, I've put useful links down below in the description for these. And if you found this video helpful, please hit subscribe because it really helps me get the word out to those who might benefit. And don't forget to check out my ever-growing application playlist, which you can also find below. I'll be covering all aspects of the UCAS process. If you're ready right now to find out exactly what elite UK universities are looking for in an application, then you might want to check this one out.